Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the first ever PSGL versus WOR event, crossplay, whatever you want to call it. We are live for that tonight. And, I am WOR. I am your Xbox Tier 1 commentator for WOR, and I am thrilled and honoured to be joined by Jess from the PSGL side of things. And it's incredible to have Jess alongside me. Jess, welcome along.
Hello Gareth, hello everybody. Yes, I'm very excited to kick this off with a first cross-play event as well. We got the 10 best drivers on Xbox for WOR side of things, and the 10 best drivers from PSGL on the PlayStation side of things. And by the end of tonight, we will find out who is the best platform in terms of crossplay, in terms of side of things as well. And we got two of the top drivers there as well that are attempted to battle it out, like we got Mirko from the PlayStation side, and of course we got Otis from Xbox as well. And it's quite kind of like a bit of a talk on Twitter, hasn't it, about who we think's going to do well. So, but it should be interesting. It's around Portugal and it's full quali as well, so it should spice things up quite a lot.
And I think the full quali is going to cause a lot of questions to be asked, because I think some people might want to. I mean, I know it's a term I use quite often, but sandbag a little bit, lower their initial pace down, maybe in Q1 and 2, and then really hit it off at the end. But I know for the Xbox side of things, everyone is looking at Otis to be the guy to lead the way for WOR, because at the moment he is being, well, I think the only words you can describe is unstoppable.
Yeah, I have to say I've been watching his performances on the WOR side, just to have a little bit of an idea what the drivers are capable of. And yeah, he's very, very quick, and there's hardly any races where he's been put under pressure. He tends to dominate, and maybe this could be a good test for him to see if he can face alongside the PlayStation guys, or really if he's still dominant on the console overall as well. Because if we end up getting a crossplay league, which I really do hope so in the future, this is tonight's a test sort of thing, then we get to see really if he can handle the PlayStation guys. Our top PlayStation guys moving over to PC after this race, so he won't get to race against him if we ever do a console crossplay league. But he gets his chance tonight, and the PlayStation guys gets to race against some very top quality Xbox drivers as well, because I know some of them, because I'm in VSR as well, and we've got some rivalries between teams as well, where they can't work together like they can on obviously their chats as well. They have to go work together in platforms rather than their teams at the moment.
Yeah, so the platform's very much on top for these guys. And I mean, we're looking at, well, on my side, we're looking at the lineup, and you know, there is some incredible talent throughout the whole of the grid. And you know what, we could very well see the top PlayStation driver against the top Xbox in PC next year, because, well, it won't be long until Otis gets himself onto that side of things, because this is this is just a stepping stone really for them, isn't it? You know, we usually see these guys, especially the great ones, make their way up through. And you know, from a selfishly point of view here, from my side, you know, I commentated this time last year on Thomas Ronha in the Xbox side of things, and look at him now.
Yeah, exactly. Ronha, I have to say, I felt so happy when he won his first F1 esports race back in, I think it was Austria, I believe, as well, and I witnessed it, and it was brilliant. And his face to see that he won was quite incredible. And I commentated on him on the PC side as well, and he showed his dominance there as well. And I think the gap between the consoles and the PC side is not as great than it once was. I think it's not as hard of as a transition if you go from like PS5 to PC or Xbox Series to PC, which is, I think, really great to see. So with the likes of Danerka and Otis moving to PC soon, I think it won't be that much of a jump. And talking about our lineup on the PlayStation side, of course we got Mirko, but we also got Tom, who was the runner-up this season, who managed to perform really well, got quite a few wins. Legend as well, up and coming talent as well, I would like to say, is a really good driver. He won the last couple of races. He dominated in the wet around USA, which I have to say was one of my best performances I've seen him today, and he's going to be one of the favourites, I think, for the PlayStation title in Season 32, so we just finished Season 31. Of course, we got Cazidle as well, Rudy, who I believe was in the top 3 in the championship. We got Rowan as well, Asco, and quite a few people competing in WOR on the PlayStation side as well. So they're quite familiar with WOR with PlayStation, but not for Xbox, obviously. Now we got Valters as well, we got Ray, and we got Ogiano as well, completing our lineup. So I think both the lineups are pretty strong as well. I have to say, Leopard looking quite strong. We've got Wilson as well, who's done quite well in the last few WOR races as well. So should be very, very exciting. I would like to hear your thoughts in any of the chats. Who's going to do well in each of the tiers as well. And with the point system is going to be as follows: 35 points for first place, 28 points for second place, and points are scored for every position. So if you finish, you score points for your team. If you don't finish, then you won't score points for your team, and you probably will be lectured at the end of the race, I have to say. Safety car is off, and it will be clear weather, and like we said earlier, full qualifying as well. So we can test the whole cross-play shebang to see if everything works as well. I think we're just waiting for the last few drivers to join the lobby, and then we can get started.
Yeah, looking forward to getting started. And I wanted to ask, I mean, obviously the top 10 drivers for the PSGL, they've got to be good to get into this event, because it's the 10 best PlayStation drivers against the best 10 Xbox drivers. But is there one that, out of the 10 on the PSGL side of things, that you're thinking he could really choose a massive moment here to cause a surprise for everyone, like a hidden gem, so to speak?
I really don't know, because literally a lot of people have been practicing this track, because this hasn't been in our calendar this season, because it came out quite sooner into our season 31. But it is quite tough. On its day, I could see the likes of Rudy doing quite well. Hidden gem, he works well together as a team as well. Obviously, I said Legend as well. Tom could be a hidden gem as well, because Tom has been up there near the front, and if he doesn't bottle it, he could put consistent results, I have to say. So I think there's quite a lot of drivers that could be up there. If one driver performs badly, then the other driver can step in and be like, you know what, I can carry for you and help you do well. But it's not like an ordinary league race, isn't it? It's about which is the best platform in this event. So I think we'll see more drivers working together as a team. Surely someone will like to win, but if someone wins and then the rest of your team does rubbish, then it's not really going to help matters, because the points are just so close. So I think it could go either way. But obviously, apart from Otis on your side, are there any other drivers who you think that if Otis doesn't do well, can carry the team good?
Now, there's two drivers. Obviously, Cider has been absolutely incredible in WR to Xbox Tier 1 this season, being able to challenge Otis at nearly all the tracks. Maybe not all the way, but he's been there or thereabouts. But the one I'm really, really interested to see is an FRA teammate of Otis, FRA Matthew. He's had a bit of a torrid season luck-wise, but I reckon there's something about it. I don't want to give him a commentator's curse, because I am absolutely amazing at doing that, but I don't know why. I just feel like this is the event for him to showcase what he's all about. So I'm desperate to see something good from him. But looking through your standings on the PSGL side of things, I just want to take a quick, not swipe because that's wrong, but I reckon VSR Rowan. I don't know why. I've had a quick look from what I can gather, done a little bit of information, but I think he's going to be the one that WR actually have to worry about more than maybe Mirko and Tom.
Interesting as well. On his day, he could perform quite well, but there has been some races where he hasn't performed to its potential, and I have to say Rowan did quite well around Jeddah, and that's quite a new track to the F1 game. So to put it into perspective, I have to agree, because the drivers haven't had long to practice for this event, and he could be, I think, the man that could challenge these guys for that if it comes down for it, because it all comes down to the qualifying and the amount of laps you can put on the track, because it's so technical, this Portimao circuit as well. You've got obviously turn 1, you obviously got the crest as well in towards turn 3 and 4, which is very difficult on this game, and heading towards turn 5, a really prime overtaking opportunity, and the infamous turn 8 as well, where we could see quite a few spins tonight, especially with no assists right now. But yeah, I think it could be quite intense. I think Ray could be up there as well. Ray got his first win this season, but I I think someone in both of the sides are going to surprise us in a way. We probably say, oh, this driver can do well, but you never know. We could see the likes of Connor or Legend do well from your side as well. And I do believe we've got all 20 drivers in the lobby after about a 5-minute extra wait. But I think we should get started very soon. I think we're just waiting. We were waiting for our 2 PlayStation guys. So PlayStation, get a move on.
Well, I don't want to say anything about PlayStation being slow, but it's a tournament after all. But no, all seriousness, it's going to be a cracking one. We'll wait for everyone to get themselves ready, sorted into it. Obviously, like we've mentioned, it is a full qualifying session, so these guys definitely looking to push on straight away. But also, like I've mentioned before, I think there might be a few drivers, and I'm not going to name names apart from Otis, maybe trying to just eke it back a little bit from the start, just to not give too much away, because he is the strongest on Xbox, but I don't think he wants PlayStation to really think that he's as good as he is in qualifying and then really portray what he's about in the race. But like you've mentioned quite rightly through this as well, it's a team effort, so the drivers have to work together. So maybe he has to look at trying to get Scyther and Wilson and even Leopard. Usually Leopard is a main guy that I bring up. He's so integral in any part of the team because he's just consistent. He's not the fastest. He's not in any way, shape or form, and you won't mind me saying this, but his consistency is absolutely key, and I think that's vital for him at WOR tonight. I mean, on that token, have you got a Mr. Consistent over at the PSGL side of things?
Wow, looking at the standings, we've got to have someone that scored points in most of the races that he can compete in. And obviously Dan Urko, apart from the race that he missed in Silverstone because he couldn't make it, he scored in every single race. The first few races he got no lower than 4th place. It was only towards the end of the season where he started to butt that trend and score lower down the grid as well. And we started to see Legend being more consistent as well. But outside of that, apart from a few DNFs, I would have to say Rudy, because apart from one DNF and one did not start, he's been there or thereabouts, scoring points where everyone else can't. And he's just been the driver that you weren't expecting. He came from F3 last season, in season 30, and he jumped all the way into F1 because he was so quick on this game. It just shows how much the game has pretty much changed. So you've got to look at the drivers that if a certain championship leader can't perform well, that's the driver that you could rely on. And I think Rudy could be one of those drivers that could be there or thereabouts. He only got 1 win, but he has got a pole position, he's got a few podiums, and most of the other finishes he scored about top 5 or higher, which was great to see as well. But we are about to start qualifying finally, so Q1 is just beginning. And for those of you that don't know what Q1 is all about, slowest 5 drivers get eliminated. And for any of the people watching, they're gonna hope that it's not their platform that they're supporting that gets eliminated as well. And I think for the first time as well on the console, we will get to see the intermediate tyres in a try session.
What a surprise, getting the intermediates on. These guys are, well, especially on the Xbox side of things, I see it quite often, but it looks like the PlayStation side of things use exactly the same thing as well. We will wait. I think it could very well be FRA Matthew who's out on track first.
Yes, he is.
So let's just see how he can handle that.
Oh, he's spun.
He's already spun.
Well done, Gareth.
I didn't get it on stream, thankfully.
I did.
Ah, dear, the PSGL side of things have already heating up. But let's get rid of that. I'm not sure, for some unknown reason. There we go. It's finally come up on my side. So, yeah, I mean, early doors, we're expecting this, aren't we? We're expecting people to, I don't want to say play around, but just not push as much as we would expect. There's 17 minutes of this session. The track obviously gets a lot better towards the end of the race, with the end of this session. And that's when we'll start seeing like the faster times come in.
Yes, and track evolution, I would have to say, around Portimao is very, very key. I think very, very important. It's first used in Formula One during COVID, actually, when they had to change the calendar for quite a few times. First used in Open in 2008, and it was used as a testing circuit for quite a few years. It also was used in MotoGP, hence the layout as well. And it hasn't been the first time Portugal's made its return to the Formula 1 calendar. Obviously, we saw Estoril 1996 Grand Prix, which was quite entertaining as well. And we saw the infamous Lando Norris quote, "I'm moving up and down side to side like a roller coaster." And we're seeing that right now with Valtteri, who is bucking the trend. Everyone is on inters, but he's like, you know what? I'm not going on inters. I'm going on the soft tyres. I want to put the pressure on everybody to set a lap time. I wouldn't have done that if I was in, because he doesn't have enough softs to use for the rest of qualifying. Hopefully he remembers that you only have 4 sets of tyres for the whole qualifying session. But he's going on a lap anyway on a set of the soft tyres, and we will see how the track evolves as the session progresses. Then.
Definitely. I mean, McKay Sam has decided, you know what? He's going to go complete opposite way and go full on wets, which is.
And he's going the opposite way as well.
But into turn 5 goes. Is it Waters?
Valtters.
Okay, I'm going to call him Philip. So Philip coming through into turn 7 and then into Samsung. Samsung is massively difficult sometimes on this track because it just seems to want to, just the back end just wants to fly out, and I think we've just seen one of the Aston Martins there in that exact problem.
Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it, as well? And it's an absolute nightmare in the wet as he heads towards the final sector at the moment. I have to say, a 120.7 on the inters, not too shabby in clear conditions at the moment, as we've got Valtteri heading towards the roller coaster section right now as he tries to find some time as well. Hopefully not many people are blocking as someone moves out the way very kindly in that McLaren. But what can Valtteri do? A 117.6, and I did see a Ferrari giving a little bit of a slipstream. I'm just trying to find out if that was allowed or not. I don't think it is. Normal PSGL WOR rules apply there, so I wonder if that was deliberate or not. Interesting. I wonder if there's stewards looking into that. Tut, guys, you know better than this.
Maybe some underhand stuff already, but like you mentioned, that the 120s on the intermediates is a very, very good time. They beat me anyway, that's for sure. The Haas driver going across the line with a 121. I'm going to see what McCabe Sam can actually do. At the moment, he's reversing, so it doesn't look like he's able to do too much, to be honest. I wonder if he's actually going to reverse into the lane. He could very well do at this point. So everyone else, though, struggling immediately on the intermediate tyres. Kazizel, is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
That's my sort of time on a soft tyre. So these guys obviously know what they're doing.
Yeah, I haven't actually driven a race around Portimao on this game as well, so I don't have a clue where I would be. I would probably be 119, 118 territory, I think. Probably 119, I would say as well, but we'll see. I had to turn my mic down my end because I was a bit loud. There's quite a few people going into the pits now from their enters, and I think just like F1 Esports, we'll have a bit of a moment, whilst I think we wait, about 10 minutes to go, then people get on their first lap on the soft compounder tyres, and then there'll be one final lap in just a moment as well. So I think everyone's in the pits, apart from Asacombe in P5. Then we got Ray in the Alpine in P8 as well. Each of the teams, each of the leagues were given 5 cars between them to choose from. So obviously we got PSGL, we got the Alpine, the McLaren, the Ferrari, the Alfa Romeo, and I'm trying to remember what car, the Haas as well. And then yours have the Aston Martin, the AlphaTauri, the Mercedes, the Red Bull, and I'm trying to remember. I'm sure I'm probably forgotten.
Aston Martin? Williams,
that's it. Williams, there we go. So they've been given 5 cards each to select from once all the lineups were confirmed in a way as well. And interesting on what their selection was as well, because some people have gone for their teammates in PSGL and in WOR. Some of them have gone for their esports compatriot, and some of them have gone for completely different compatriot, which I'm quite surprised about, actually. But finally, we're seeing your guys on the soft compound tire. Now we got Sam and we got Matthew as well. I think Matthew's the one to keep an eye on from your side at the moment, because he's one of the quicker guys out of those two at the moment. The other guys are just holding tight. We've got Leopard as well. It seems like the Xbox guys want to get on track pretty quickly.
It definitely looks like it. And I mean, if things ended as they are right now, I don't think WOR would be too happy, because PSGL are 1-9 right now. But thankfully, it's not going to be the case that way, or at least I hope not. And these guys now, like you mentioned, on the soft tyres, getting themselves ready, getting themselves maybe just bedding themselves in a little bit for this Q1 session. And McCabe Sam is going to be the first man to set, other than Philip and P1 currently at the moment, to set a more meaningful lap time, as there goes the Haas into P3, 120.5 on 3-lap old inters. He's really going for it on those intermediates at the moment. But McCabe Sam just about to start his lap time through into 1 and 2, the very, very tricky section. You could go just a little bit far wide and into Lagos as well. This track as a whole is very, very I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it, but quite ruthless, really.
Yeah, it is. It can, to be honest, it could definitely punish you if you get it wrong as well, because the gradient and the elevation changes is quite staggering around this circuit. Not many races take part in it as well, and I won't be surprised in all of our calendars that we'll see it soon, as Sam has had a bit of a tank slapper through into turn 8 as well, which probably I would do, and I believe, is he backing off or is he carrying on? I think he's backed off a little bit. Yep, he's backed off. So who'll be next for a lap? Matthew has invalidated, so who's behind him? I think the next person is a Williams. That might be Scaffer. There he is. Scaffer is the next driver to set a competitive lap time as he goes through turn 5 now in the number 62 car. He would have gone for 63, but obviously George Russell has that number, so I can understand why he's gone for that number. But we'll see what he can do as he heads towards turn 6 now as well. A little bit of a lift there, heading towards 7, heading towards 8 of Samson. And I think he nails that a little bit better and clips that curve very well as well. You can extend quite a bit around this track and the game could get away with it. So he's using that to his full potential. We'll see if any of the other guys do it for the time being as well. As we got Smokey with a 117.1, so I think he was the first of the guys to set a lap time from the soft tyres apart from Valters. We'll see what... is it Scaffer? Is that how you say it? I might be wrong.
I go for Cyther. I could be wrong. He hasn't messaged me to say I've got his name wrong yet.
Cyther, okay. I apologise if I get it wrong. I'm really sorry. But anyway, he comes up to the line now, and it's going to be a 117.341 for him in the Williams. We've got Lawrence, Otis, I would say, a 117.0. So first man almost into the 116s. We've got another Aston Martin. That's Wilson, I believe. Yeah, that is Wilson, who's about to start his run. None of the PlayStation guys yet, but again, that was just the Xbox drivers just getting their laps out of the way. And it's quite competitive so far. Obviously, I don't know which is competitive in relation to me, but obviously we haven't done any races in league racing around Portugal, so I don't have a clue which is quick and then which is not.
No, I mean, it's... I think we're looking at the 16s really at the end of Q1, and I think Otis will probably get into that. But Matthew is on his lap time now as he rounds Zagreus and into turn 15. The Alpha Tauri driver is going to hope to be pushing as fast as he can. He's going to, well, do whatever he can to get higher up in the grid, but it's only P5 at the moment. Ogiano, though, is up into P2 for the PlayStation side of things. That's a great little lap time from him. Very, very close to Otis, Lawrence, and Smokey as well. Smokey's got some great one-lap pace, so it'll be interesting to see how he can do as well. But like you've mentioned, there's a fair few PlayStation drivers yet to really set any meaningful lap times off away from those intermediates, but they should be coming in thick and fast. Now, I think we've just had one of them throw himself up in there as well, but it's PSR Connor, the Red Bull driver, coming across the line, and it's P2 for Connor. So the track is very much bedding in now.
Yep, it is. I think we're starting to see people really start to get into grips with this circuit. I have to say, Connor Ogiano just set the exact same lap time. So, and usually it's the one who crossed the line first that sets of lap time. Oh, Legend 169, first man into the 116. I did say Legend will be the man, one of the people to watch out for on the PlayStation side. And then we got Kazizzle 116.9. Then we got, I think, an Alpine of Ray's coming across the line, but I don't think it was a valid lap, so I'm guessing he's gonna go again and set another push lap, maybe on a scrub set of the tyres. I think we got another Alpine going on a lap. No, Biz Matthew going into the pits, I think, for a cool down lap. I'm just trying to see if anyone else is on a push lap. I'm trying to see if any of the PlayStation guys on a push lap. Asako maybe up to the line. Only P15, so he's still getting to grips with it looks like. But I'm guessing he would go again as well. And because it does take a long time for the tyres to warm up on this game, I have to say, as he almost messed up turn 3 there. But he seems to be okay at the moment. But it seems to me the exit of 3 into 4, it tends to be a common place to invalidate, isn't it?
Yeah, and well, at the exit of 4 as well, very, very common for people to invalidate. I think Ray's just had a little moment out of the exit of turn 11, and I'm not sure how much that's cost him, but there was a little squiggle for the Alpine driver. He is on a lap from the looks of things on those, a set of softs. I think he did the last one on the set of intermediates. Sav still to come out, 2 PSR drivers still to come out, but coming down the start-finish straight for Ray, what can he do? It's currently only P12 for him, a 117.4. It's quite mixed up. It's not all one way. PlayStation and Xbox very much mixing things around right now.
I like this. I like that we've got a split of the PS and Xbox drivers next to each other. It shows that it's wide open, I think, between the two platforms and how similar they are as well, which I think is a great test for the crossplay side of things, because we don't want one side to be too OP because of the differences between each platform. But I think this is encouraging signs at the moment for both platforms. So in a way, it's a good thing that they're all pretty close together as well, as I think we've got 4 minutes left to go of the session. And don't forget, the slowest 5 drivers will be eliminated out of Q1, which at the moment are Nick and Sav. Obviously, Nick and Sav still yet to set a lap time, because Izzle thinks that he could get through with a 116.9. He's in the pit, so he's not on track, which is good. So as long as nobody else improves, then he should be safe. Connor thinks exactly the same thing as well, but with the track evolving so quickly, we don't know. They may pretty much eliminate themselves too early from qualifying, and then they get eliminated straight away. We will see as a few more drivers head in to the pit. I would say from the likes of, it's quite tight. I think anyone in the 117.3 type of margin, maybe 117.2, if I were you, I would go again. But maybe some people in the 117 ones may go again, just a safety net, as well as we've had Sam, who just set a lap time with a 117.7. So most people in the 117s, obviously we've got Rowan, who hasn't set a competitive lap time. He's had it on the Inter, same with Tom as well. And finally, Nick is going out on a competitive run now as he heads towards the final few corners now as well. We'll see what he can do in the Williams as well. See if he can pull off a big surprise to us as well, because I haven't seen them race at all, so it'll be interesting to see how he can negotiate this circuit. But he only has a few more chances. With some people not setting representative lap times yet, that could make all the difference if they don't nail it in the final part of qualifying. As surprise, Otis also retires from the session, so I think he should be safe as well. And I won't be surprised if Augie... Sav has retired. Is it an issue he's at this end? I don't know, but we've already got one driver eliminated from qualifying. Interesting.
Now that is a very bold move from Sav, if that's what he means to do. But we are just seeing Cyber going across the line to set a lap time. It's P7 and 117.1. Wow. It's right smack in between WR Smokey and Rudy in P6 there. So that is very, very interesting. I think I'll give it to the chat who they think is going to be the eliminated drivers. Obviously, there's only now 4 to eliminate, but McCabe Sam crossing the line with a 117.7. It's not going to be quick enough. Rowan on a lap time. I think he's possibly the next driver, or is it Nick? I think Nick possibly is the next driver to set a lap time, but I'll stay on board with the PSGL driver of Rowan as
Nick P11.
P11 with a 17.2. things are starting to spice up a little bit.
It is, which is great to see. Rowan is about 2 seconds up in the middle sector, which is not ideal for him. So he needs to find, I think, more time in the final sector. The final sector is where you can really make it or break it. So Rowan, he's heading towards the roller coaster section. I'm going to call it the roller coaster section because it's cool. As he comes up to the line, I think he's found all that time in the final sector. And 1:16.9. That should see him safely through to the next part of qualifying. That's a really stellar lap time from him as well, as Tom's going through turn 5 now, as he's in the middle of his lap. I think the next person to cross the line is one of the PSGL guys. That is Facecam. He's 15th at the moment. He's starting his final run, it looks like. Yes, it is. We've got, I think, Sam, who's a few 100s down on his previous best at the moment. But again, time is found in the final sector. He's also in the pit. What are you doing, Sam? So I think that's another driver knocked out of qualifying. At the moment, it looks like we may have pretty much an even spread, I think, with Xbox and PlayStation drivers getting knocked out, which makes both of us a little slightly better at the moment, as we're seeing Tom, number 45 car, driven in the special McLaren livery that was run in Singapore and Japan, I believe, the last few weekends. So he can come across the line now. Can he match the lights? Cazidle and Rowan and get to the top. 1:17.3. That's not enough at the moment. There's a few people that could get knocked out. I think we could see a surprise driver being knocked out as it stands. But at the moment, we got Sam, Sab, Leopard, Valters, and Facecam being in danger. Ray could be in danger because he's spun.
Oh, this is not good. Leopard going across the line. What can he do? It's quicker, but it's not quick enough to see him through. I think Ray and Tom might be safe, but it depends on your
Here comes
two.
Facecam.
Across the line.
13th.
Oh, my goodness.
So, it does look like we've got 3 Xbox drivers and 2 PlayStation drivers being knocked out in Q1. Like I said, an even spread there. So we got Sad, Sam, Valters, Leopard, and Ray being knocked out. I'm surprised to see Valters up there down at the bottom, because he was in the near the top 3 in the championship. Same with Leopard as well. The others I was kind of expecting, as I think we just saw Dan Urquhart go up to P5. Smokey goes up to P2. A good lap time from him. So Smokey showing the PlayStation guys what they're made of, because he's splitting the likes of Rowan and Legend there. So I'm very impressed with Smokey's lap time, especially. He's not that far behind Cazidle in P1.
Now this is really, really interesting. Look at that. Just like you quite rightly mentioned, pretty much even split between Q1 dropout zones here, and that, yeah, I know Leopard will be kicking himself. Sav is having issues, I think, with setup, which means he could be a sitting duck when it comes to the race. I'm not sure what's happened there. Leopard, obviously, McCabe, Sam, those guys I know quite well. But you've mentioned Philip might be a bit annoyed with himself being knocked out that early up on, as Ray as well. Ray looked really competitive at the first few laps, but it's just not really gone their way. Those 5 drivers are the one that are out in Q1 here. Q2 is very, very close around the corner, and I mean, I don't want to say they're surprises, because I'm not sure what the PSGL side is like, but at the moment, the top 5, there's only one WOR driver.
But he's quite close to P1, so I have to say that is, well, it's not quite even, but everybody else, I think I would say from first down to 6th, is insanely close. We're calling on Orgianis at an exact same lap time. Rowan separated by 7,000 of a second, so 1,000 separating between Smokey and Rowan. I have to say that's quite incredible. I have to say, I'm not that surprised to see Rowan up there in third, because he likes new tracks, but there is your order as we scroll down. Then we got the 5 eliminated drivers there as well. Drivers to watch out for, I think, heading into Q2, the likes of Tom, Facecam, Nick, Wilson, Matthew, Scaffer, and Rudy as well, that were near that drivers at risk mark. And I think they will need to step it up in Q2. But luckily, it's a clear session all the way anyway. But I think Q2 will have the most grip as well. Most people go on scrub tyres to start the session, but there will be some drivers, the likes of Otis, the likes of, I'm trying to see who else they retired in the last part of qualifying. I think Cazidle as well. They'd say to set up the soft tyres, so they can either go on to new sets in Q2 and maybe save one set in Q3. Who knows? Because they will have one spare set for Q3. So we're in Q2 now. So it's 5 drivers from this group. They'll get eliminated, and that then will leave the top 10 to shoot out for pole. And then we'll see who's the best qualifier out of PlayStation or Xbox as well. But we'll have to wait and see. But it looks pretty close between Smokey, Kazizzle and Rowan. And it looked pretty close between the top 6, I would say, in that Q1 session. So I think it could go to any platform.
Right now, I think you're completely right. It can go anywhere. And we are waiting just for a couple of... Well, I'm waiting just for a couple of cars to go out on track to make it a little bit more interesting for you. But Danerko is the first driver out. I mean, I'm quite surprised Otis didn't really stamp his authority. Maybe he doesn't have the pace around him. Maybe that's why he's just holding back a little bit. Not to put thoughts into the PlayStation's minds, trying to, what is it, double cross or whatever. But, I'm surprised he didn't try, same as Cider, didn't try and do it. But you've quite rightly mentioned as well that they could very well be trying to just say conserve a set of tyres and be the best at the end. And that really is all you need when it comes down to it. But I'm gonna stay on board with Danerko to see what the Alpha... He will be, as long as he doesn't invalidate, the first driver to set a lap time in Q2. Obviously Q2 is a little bit shorter than Q1, but I think these guys, I think we're gonna see... I'm surprised actually that I've seen so many drivers out at once. Out of the 15, we've got 11.
Yes, and there's only one PlayStation driver in the pits. But we got 3 Xbox drivers in the pit. Saying that, we've got all the PlayStation drivers out now, so it just leaves the Xbox drivers out. But Danerko then, as he heads towards turn number 1, he's going to set the benchmark. I wonder if it's going to be a scrub set of the tyres, but I think it will be, because he did go out in the final part of qualifying, so he's using a scrub set. So expect times to be, I think, a bit slower than the final part of Q1. But if we know that they can match the 116th, we know they're going to be on a new set as well. So keep an eye on the ones that didn't go out in the final part of qualifying for that as well. And he seems to be relatively tidy so far. Again, using the exit curb at turn 5 to his full advantage as well. And he's going to be using that apex at turn 8 into good use as well. There's certain corners that you can get away, just like Danerko did as well. He's not the first driver to have done so. We saw one of the Xbox drivers, I think, do that as well. As I'm starting to see, I think, hopefully some predictions in the chat, hopefully, on who's going to get eliminated next. And I think there's quite a few rivalries going in between both of the chats at the moment. But Danerko then, obviously purple sector 2, but I think someone behind him has gone even quicker in sector 2. So we'll see who that is in just a second. But Danerko then, first driver to set a lap. What will be the benchmark time in Q2 so far? It's definitely a scrub set because it's a 117.4. Rudy comes across the line in P1 with a 117.3. The 2 McLaren drivers are Tom and Kazizzle. Kazizzle goes into P2, same time as Danerko there, as Legend comes across the line in P2, Scaffer in P6, Rowan into P1. We'll see then the Xbox drivers are coming towards the line. We'll give them a bit of screen time. Not Matthew, because he's spun, so that's commentator's curse number 2 for me. Wilson up to the line, and that's a 117.7. That puts him into P8, and then we got Otis on an outlap, so he's left it a little bit late, but again, he wants the most grippiest track possible to maybe start setting the times aligned. Maybe he's got the sandbags off and he's going again, maybe potentially to try and get quickest. Maybe I'm surprised he wasn't top of the last session, but to be fair, he wasn't that far behind the guys at the top. So maybe just saving the best towards the end of Q3.
That could very well be. You're probably hitting the nail on the head there, just trying to be that quickest right at the end. Ogiano then is coming across the line for the PSGL team, and it's going to be provisional pole with a 17.3. We know that's going to get beaten, but interesting to see what will happen there. PS Arcana and WR Smokey have only just exited the pit lane now. I wonder what sort of tyres they've gone on, and let's have a look at it from a Mercedes point of view. It looks like it's a scrub set on that Mercedes. So Otis, it'll be interesting to see what sort of lap time he does on that, especially seeing as there is some really solid times for the PlayStation guys.
Yep, it is. I think some of the PlayStation drivers on PS4 had a few frame rate issues, so that probably explains why some drivers were knocked out of Q1. But Otis up to the lot. Did you say that was on a scrub set? Because that definitely was not on a scrub set. Or you took the sandbags off. I don't know. 1:16.7. If that was on a scrub set, I have to say, watch out, PlayStation, because he's a man on a mission. He's taken the sandbags off and he's ready to fight. To get the Xbox on top, I have to say, oh wow, I'm very, very impressed with Otis. Watch out for him if he goes on PC, because he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. But we'll see what the two Red Bull drivers do, at least, coming across the line. I will wait to find out if it was a scrub set or not. It's hard to tell, but from the time, it doesn't look like it.
I was going to say, I mean, it looked like a scrub set, but I suppose I could go and need glasses. But Otis Lawrence just throwing maybe a marker down. Maybe it was a fresh set, and he's just going, you know what?
Beat that.
Yeah. And I think that's going to take some time. I think we're going to see pole here tonight about 1:16.5, but Q2, that is a marker and a half. P.S. O'Connor is apparently purple in Sector 1. This is going to be interesting. Let's see if he can keep this up, because this is some incredible lap times for P.S. O'Connor. I am thrilled to see that he's got some confidence about him, and he's really, really giving it. He's had a great Q1. Let's see what he can do in Q2. But some of the PlayStation lot coming straight back out. I wonder if that's scrub set or if that's new, to see if they can beat Otis's time.
I wonder if they got the tyres saved. I think Kazil may go out on a new set as well. The likes of Rudy as well, Rowan, who pretty much retired towards the end of the session, potentially will go on a new set potentially. But it's hard to tell sometimes whether it's scrub or not. But again, this event is for a bit of fun. There are no points for the drivers, points for the teams championship, and it's just for a little bit of fun to see which platform is the best. And that is definitely not a scrub set for Connor. 1:16.8. Smokey then comes and matches that with a 1:16.9. So we are starting to see more drivers into the 1:16s. We've got Rudy, who's about to start his run now on a set of the soft compounder tyres. I wonder if it was a scrub set or not. Probably not, because it was he aborted one of his runs. Kazidl then, he's about to start his run. What about Tom? Tom's about to start. Everyone's going to be pretty much starting runs for the time being, but we'll see what Tom's set to one time is as he heads towards turn number 4. I don't know how these drivers do it without absolutely binning it, because I tend to bin it quite a few times around this circuit, but we've got 2 tenths quicker in the first sector for Tom. So that would put him, I think, the likes of a 1:17.4, which won't be quite enough. So I think he will need to step it up a bit. You can tell, I think, Gav, which drivers have practiced for this event and which drivers haven't practiced as much as well, due to the lap times. Because with this type of track, it's a track that you really need to learn the layout to really get to grips with it.
You're exactly right. I think that is the main thing. You can gain so much more time by just going a little bit wider, staying within the track limits, and a Red Bull getting very close to an Alpine as they come through turn 14 there. I wonder if that's impeded Rudy's time. He's going to come across the line now. Let's see what sort of lap time he's capable of doing. It's a P2 with a 16.8. That's, I don't want to say surely a set of fresh tyres, but I think that's Shazoo Tom there going to P5 on his. A 17 dead. I'm not sure if that's going to be enough to get him through. Kazizl is invalidated his lap time, and I think is that Rowan on a lap time as well coming through now. Well, let's go on board with the Ferrari driver as he comes round turn 14 and into turn 15, and I think Rowan, it's my pick for your side to do an unsinkable and do some good times, but the 16.88. How close are some of these times, Jess? Because this is really close.
And some people may think it's his F1 esports. It's not. They're separated by just under a tenth, some of these drivers, and it just goes to show how much effort and time these drivers put in to be the best they can be, because most of these guys will be in the Challenger Series next year in 2023, so they won't just be pulling up the lap the day of the race and just expect to do well. They'll be putting hours and hours of practice each day just to be the best, and I think that's what Rowan has shown. Oggiano out of nowhere, P2. Now, he's been a driver that has been there or thereabouts, but not quite there near the top guy. So that is great to see from Orgiano. I would say some of these drivers are safe, but with the times as close as it is, I don't think any driver is safe from qualifying. I think we may get the cut-off time to be in the 116s the way this is going. So if you're not in the 116s, I would have to wake up a bit and set some more competitive lap times. Tom and Matthew have set the same lap time. Not the first time we've seen that this session. I think we've seen about 3 or 4 times a lot of drivers setting the same lap time at the moment. But yeah, that is great to see that we are starting to see the lap times close. I think the ones that could challenge, I think the PlayStation guys along with Otis, it looks like it's going to be Connor and Smokey. I'm surprised that Wilson's not up there at the moment. I would expect him to be near the top as well. And Legend, that's definitely not a scrub set. Provisional pole position, well, provisional P1 in Q2, 1:16.759, a few hundredths quicker than Otis Lawrence up in P2. So Legend saying if anything Otis could do, he could do better, it looks like.
Maybe all the talk about one side being better than the other, with the amount of how close this is, maybe it's not true. Maybe they are so equal. This is why this event is needed, just to differentiate who is actually better. I can see the point scoring system, if all goes well, being very, very close at the end of the race as well. This is going, if qualifying is anything to go by, because qualifying is only one thing. Qualifying is all about one lap pace. It's all great having one lap pace if you can't hold it out through the race. And sometimes maybe that is where some of these drivers are going to just step outside their mark a little bit. But when you see the top 8 at the moment separated by 0.2 of a second,
wow,
that's incredible.
I was expecting drivers to put some more sandbags when it comes to this event, because some of these drivers will be competing against each other for the rest of the season in WOR's case, and for PSGL for next season. So I thought the sandbags will be off, but no, it's not. It's about proving themselves that they're still competitive on this game. And even though they're working together as a team, then there's a bit of bragging rights as to who's the best on each platform. And at the moment, it looks like it's a Legend, and Dan Urko's only in P8, and he's only a 10th off pole. So if I was only a 10th off pole, or a 10th off top in the Q2, I'll be absolutely delighted. But for people like Dan Urko, Asuka and Wilson that are only a few temps shy of P1, and a few temps shy of being eliminated, I will be absolutely fuming, and I'll be like, right, how much hundredths I need to find just to be quicker than my rivals, because that's absolutely astonishing, I have to say. That's the level of detail it takes to be quicker than your rivals in F1 esports and in the top league. This is why these are the top PlayStation drivers. This is why they're the top Xbox drivers in their respective leagues as well. As Scaffer's had a bit of a scrum. I think I keep saying his name wrong. I do apologise, but I'll just call him the Williams driver. But again, we will have to wait and see what happens. But some of these guys are also proving that they can potentially be in F1 esports in the future as well. But by the looks of things, it's insanely close. Watching one of your drivers now come across the line, surely this could be 1:17, I would say. Yeah, 1:17.1 puts him in P13 in the bubble at the moment. Both the top 2 have retired. Not surprised. They want to save a set in Q3. Those 2, I think, should be safe. I think Orgiano, will be safe as well. Everyone else, I think, is going out. Yeah, everyone else is going out again. But the top 2, they're going to breathe a sigh of relief and concentrate on Q3.
Now, I'm almost certain P6 up is safe. Yeah. I have been wrong so many times in my life, and I'll probably be wrong in this one as well. But these guys wanting to make sure... I mean, if I remember rightly, the Challengers event that we had at the beginning of the year, I think it was, when you had the likes of Harvey and whatever racing here, Tom Manley. This race in itself, I think, was one of the best races I've seen on the Challengers event. I reckon we're in for an absolute incredible race here tonight. But Matthew on a lap time, the AlphaTauri driver, is going to possibly be the first one to set the last qualifying laps of Q2. And he's got a lot of pressure on him. He's in P12 currently, set exactly the same lap time as a McLaren driver of Shizu Tom. he's got a lot of work to do to get himself up into well, he's got to be thinking P5 or above, because outside of that, I think he's in trouble. I think he'll be in trouble. Smokey, I don't think is set safe. Dinerco, I don't think is set safe. And they are very, very two closely knit
Scaffer's
times.
out.
Ooh.
So he didn't make it to the line in time. Matthew, P9. That is very, very tight indeed. So this could be quite close. Someone's lost it. That's Tom. I think that's him out of Q2, unfortunately. But that's to be expected. He didn't have the best of Q1 appearances. So we'll watch to see what Wilson can do as Connor was hard. I would say, I'll have to say, if you're top 7, I would say you're safe at the moment, as someone has just proved my theories, because it all goes into P3, just ahead of Olgiano. Wilson, can he make it into Q3? No, he does not. And Tom is not going to make it either. So your drivers that are knocked out of Q2 is PSR Nick, FRA Matthew, Wilson, Shadu Tom, and Scaffer. So we have 4 Xbox drivers, 1 PS driver. That is a shocker for me for Tom, because he was your PlayStation runner-up on the PSGL side. So that is a shock, I think, for me, for him to see him up there. Matthew, I would say, is a shock as well, because I was expecting to challenge up the top as well. So, but it's great to see the likes of Olgiano up there, proving that I can see he was the one who's practiced a lot out of the PlayStation guys. So it's great to see him up there as well. But Danerco came across the line. P2 1,000th slower than TF Legend. Where did he come from all of a sudden? Because he was absolutely nowhere in Q1 and Q2, and suddenly he's like, you know what? I want to try and get closer to Legend and Otis this time. And 1,000. I would like to see both of their lap times in comparison. That is, I have to say, quite incredible.
Wow, there you have it. PlayStation dominating qualifying 2 and into qualifying 3. X or WOR have a lot of work to do. So, wow. Okay, there we have it. The dropout for this, as Jess quite rightly mentioned, PSR Nick, FRA Matthew, WR Wilson, Chizu Tom, who we saw absolutely lose it at the end of turn 11, and Cider, who just couldn't hook a lap together. I don't know about you guys back watching this, but this, I'm slightly shocked. I wasn't expecting the, a 70-30 split going into Q3.
I wasn't. I was expecting to be more equal. I was expecting 5 Xbox drivers and 5 PS drivers into Q3. So I would have preferred that to make it more equal, but we got a 70-30 split. It would be nice to see the Red Bulls challenge, I think, a bit more, because they didn't have the best of Q2s. I think I wonder if they've done a bit of sandbagging in Q2 and maybe can get up there near the top, because they were near the top in Q1, I believe. So maybe they just weren't as confident in this final part of qualifying. But yeah, as Tom, confirmed from Tom, he's not very happy at all. I've seen someone in the chat saying Tom likes a comeback in league racing. So I won't be surprised to see him up there as well. And this is a shootout everyone's talking about. Fight for pole position. We're going to find out which platform has the fastest qualifier. Is it going to be PlayStation? Is it going to be Xbox? For the first 2 sessions, it was PlayStation, but don't rule out Xbox. Don't rule out Otis. Don't rule out Smokey. And don't rule out Connor, because I think they can give the remaining PlayStation drivers a run for their money.
Now, I'm going to ask the chat first who they think is going to be pole. What they think the pole lap time is and who they think is going to do it. And Jess, I'm going to ask you exactly the same thing, because it's going to be incredibly hard to choose, because we haven't had drivers pick their best laps at the same point. So we don't actually know on lap basis.
No. I'm going to ask my chat as well, in the PSGL chat, who you think is going to get pole and the lap time as well. But to make it fair, I'm going to pick 1 PlayStation driver and 1 Xbox driver. So obviously for Xbox I have to go for Otis, but for PlayStation I can't call it. I literally can't call it. It can go either way, but with the way Legend has performed in the last 2 sessions, I have to give it to him. I think it's going to be between those 2 for pole position. Maybe Dan Urko's got something saved out the bag as well, but I I'm gathering Legend and Otis are going to be close, but I think 1:16.4 I think is going to be the pole time at the moment. But it will be interesting. I think a few people predicting Danerko in the chat as well for pole position. And I think a few people in our chat saying Otis still. So there we go. So it's not just your chat that thinks Otis is going to do well. There's some people in the PSGL chat as well. So it's quite an evenly split there. But yeah, I'm going to have to go. If it has to be between Legend and Otis, I can't call it. It'll be close between the two of them, I think.
Now, to answer my own question, I will do it similarly to you. I think I'm going to back Legend for you guys. If there is going to be a PSGL poll, it will be Legend. However, if I'm going to back, it's quite easy to say Otis because he's been so dominant. However, I'm thinking a 16.3. I think a low 16.3. Both of these drivers, Legend and Otis Lawrence, with the way they've produced at the moment, I think both of them can produce a 16.3. I think everyone else will be in the late 16.4s, early 16.5s. But, you know, Q3, Formula One, esports, it always has this element of question mark because all it takes is one mistake.
All it takes is one mistake, because Otis Lawrence was definitely on the new set there, 1:16.5, which was the fastest time I think we've seen all session long, I think, so far, as Orgiana comes across the line in P2 with a 1:16.7. We have got a Ferrari up to the line. That is Legend's teammate Rowan in P6 at the moment as he comes towards the final corner now. It's not going to be competitive at the moment. It is on a scrub set, don't forget, for him, a 1:17.5, so we'll see his competitive nature later on. I think one of the Alpines is on an outlap, so we won't follow him. So who will be next across the line? It won't be Asako because he has unfortunately invalidated and he's gone for a little bit of a spin in turn 4, which is easy to do. Legend is going through turn 5 now, and I didn't see his sector 1 time, so we'll see if he can improve a little bit. Everyone else is just on outlaps at the moment, so we'll stay on board with my pick Legend, and knowing him, he's probably going to bin it because I'm worried I'm going to curse my drivers more than anything at this moment in time. But we're starting to see the rivalry come in both of our chats now. I like this. I really do like this. But I think it can only go to one platform at the moment. It can go either way with how close it is in qualifying. So Legend then. Final sector, he's got to nail it. We'll see if it's on a scrub set or not. Or maybe he's just saving the best till last. He nailed that final part of the lap. Is he going to get provisional pole position? I don't think so. It may be a scrub set. 1:16.7, P3. That is quite close between Orgiano and Legend for the time being. We've got everyone else on outlaps. Rudy, I think, is on a run as well in sector 2. So we'll see if any of your guys can get near the top as well as Otis, because Otis is setting the benchmark at the moment.
Benchmark from the Mercedes driver is quite right. Connor then is the first driver from the Xbox side of things, to set a lap time. I think Rudy could very well be setting a lap time as well. I'll keep an eye on that when he comes through, but I'm going to stay on board with PSR Connor as he comes through the tricky turn 10 and 11. As we've seen a few drivers lose it here already. He is apparently purple in sector 2. The Red Bull driver is on an absolute charge with 6 minutes left of the session remaining. Look how close Rudy gets to Otis Lawrence in the fight for pole position. But Connor around Sagrius now into turn 15. What can the Red Bull driver do as he hurtles his way down the start-finish straight? He's going to want a big time. He needs a big time. The Red Bull driver can only handle a 1:16.7, and his teammate WR Smokey crosses the line, only manages a 17.10. That must be a set of scrubs for the other Red Bull driver, but I'm sure we've got Danerko and Kazizel trying to set their lap times now as well.
Yes, indeed. I think Danerko will be the next driver to come across the line. Danerko was your F1 champion on the PlayStation side that was crowned a few weeks ago. His last race on the PlayStation tonight as well. He'll be moving over to PC full-time. He actually took part in PC last night. He managed to finish P4 in the Tier 1 league for WOR as well, which was really great to see. He got quite close towards the end for Danerko as well, but he comes across the line. P6. wow, I have to say it's getting closer than I thought, because Izzle, who got technically the DHL pole position award from our season just gone, because he got 4 pole positions in that season, 1:16.7. So he is 2 tenths shy than his PSGL compatriot Rudy. So it's still Otis on top so far. It could go either way. The first 2 sessions topped by PlayStation, but I think Otis has got something saved for the last lap. I think he could get a 1:16.3. You never know. But has Legend got something saved in the bag as well? Because I wonder, was that a scrub set that he had on? Again, we will have to wait and see. As talking about adjusting, it does take a while to adjust from PlayStation to PC or Xbox to PC. But imagine if you have to switch all the time from PC to PlayStation or PC to Xbox. That is what Dan Urker has to manage on a daily basis. And to be fair, he's doing not too bad to adjust, because the differences between PlayStation and PC and console is some of which is not that different, but like for USA, it's quite a lot. Hence the reason why we're not doing a PC versus Xbox versus PlayStation. But Dan Urker's going to the pits now. We've got Legend going out now. I'm surprised he's gone out now, to be honest. I thought he wanted to be on the last one to set a lap, but I wonder if he's going to do 2 laps on a set of the soft tyres potentially. But a bit risky, but maybe he wants to set the pressure early doors. But we see now the track evolves very quickly the final half of qualifying in Q2. Not what I would have done, but again, he probably wants to set a marker for everyone else to follow.
That could very well be it, but he's also risking himself getting into traffic, and that's something he does not want to do at such a short circuit. Portimao very, very short. Whoa. But a 16.4 from Oggiano, setting the pace early, and the Haas driver saying, you know what, whatever anyone else can do, I can do just as well. We've barely said anything about him in this Q3 session. We've pretty much written him off, but he's set a wonderful lap time. That could be a top 3 lap time from him.
Yeah, that could be as well. And to be honest, it is a team event. Even if one of your drivers goes on and wins the race, if the rest of your drivers are near the back of the grid, they're not going to score that many points in the race. If most of your drivers are in the top 10, I would say that would mean that they would probably claim the event outright, to be honest, as well. So you've got to work with your drivers a lot more, work together as a team as well. Maybe one of your drivers could be up there in P1, and then the rest of them can work together to be near the top 10, and then the others make sure to keep the rest of the platforms at bay. I think that's what the role playing I would do if I was in a team event as well. I would be the one just to make sure that to hold up the other platform and make sure that they don't go in any way, because I'm quite slow nonetheless as well. But Legend's lap is not looking that good so far. It's a bit squirmy in some places, so I don't think it's going to be enough for pole, but he may have something saved in the tank for his final lap, but we'll have to wait and see. Would it be enough for pole? It's not. It's a P2. It's a Talent Factory 1-2 though from Oggiano and Legend. A PSGL 1-2 at this moment in time. We still haven't seen what Otis can do. I know Otis can go quicker. I know Rudy can go quicker. Any of these guys on outlaps can go quicker. Oggiano won't have time to set another lap, neither will Legend, due to the ERS, unless he could save a bit of ERS in the final part of qualifying. But again, we'll have to wait and see. But at the moment, it's PlayStation leading the field away, but still some lap times to be said from Otis, Connor and Smokey. So we'll keep an eye on these guys, as Connor, I believe, will be setting his final run in qualifying. So we'll see what he can do as he makes his way towards turn 1.
Now this is interesting, because Legend had a massive tank slapper at turn 11, and he's still P2. That's a cracking lap time from the Ferrari driver. PSR Connor, like you've quite rightly mentioned, is on his lap time now. He is going to be the first driver to finish a lap time. Oggiano's got to somehow try and get another lap in. I'm not sure it's possible, Oggiano, but
it might be a timing glitch for us.
Oh, it could be, but he can go for it if he wants and see where he gets for it. But PSR Connor now up Craig Jones he goes into turn 10. Let's see how he can if he can keep this nice and tidy. We've seen mistakes at the end of turn 11, but he is quite steady. He's up on his lap time, but it's not that much. It would only make him P5 at the moment through turn 13 into 14 for PSR Connor. He's got a lot of pressure on him. He's the first one to set the lap time out of the rest of the guys. Legend and Ogiano, the ones done and dusted. Legend has actually retired in the pits. He knows his qualifying is said and done, but PSR Connor across the line, it's only P5 for the WR driver. It's not going to be enough.
Here we go, Rudy then in 4th place at the moment. Didn't see what his lap time was beforehand in the first and second sector, but he's got to nail that final sector. Is it going to be enough to get into that top 3? Yes, it is. P3 for now for Rudy, the man who finished, I think, in the top 3 on PlayStation this season. Asacombe comes across the line into P7. And then we got Otis with a 1:16.4. Not quite the 1:16.3 that I was hoping for Otis. But at the moment, it's enough for him to snatch pole position. Then we've got Smokey up to the line. He can only manage 8th. So that's the Xbox drivers done, because it all can only manage in 5th position. So we're just waiting for Donerko and Rowan. So let's see what Rowan can do then as he goes up to the line. 1:16.7, which will put him into P7. Donerko, who was close to Legend in qualifying last time out, he could be the man that could spoil the pie for the Xbox side. Is it going to be pole? No, not quite so. Otis on the Xbox side, as expected, I would say, is on pole for today's race with Ogiano in P2. I was not expecting Ogiano to be the top PlayStation driver. I was expecting it to be Legend, but points are not awarded in qualifying. They're awarded in the race. But that is good news if you are supporting WOR on Xbox, because your platform has secured the top qualifier for this event.
Well played, Otis. I think he feels maybe aggrieved that he couldn't get into the 16 threes. But Ogiano, what a lap time. I thought it was a great lap time when he set it, and it ended up being the best PlayStation lap time. Legend, I think if he didn't have that mistake at turn 11, probably would have been that man to be alongside Otis Lawrence. But look at that top 10. Otis Lawrence, or FRA Elite as people might know him as, Ogiano, Legend, Rudy. Look at that, the TF drivers, 2nd, 3rd and 4th respectively. That is a stacked out grid for PSGL right now, with Kazizel in P5. 6th is Donerko as well, with Connor in 7th, Rowan in 8th, 9th to Asacom, and Smokey in Asacombe, and Smokey rounding out the positions for the WR guys. I mean, it's quite smack bang in the middle for the 3 drivers, but that's a qualifying and a half. That's opened my eyes a little bit with how quick some of these drivers can be.
Yeah, and the fact that is between the top PlayStation driver and the top Xbox driver, it's separated by 5/100ths of a second. That is nothing in our terms in league racing. That is just insane. So I have to say, if we do end up getting crossplay in the future for leagues on PlayStation and Xbox, then it's not going to be much of a difference. And I absolutely like that, I have to say. Ogiano, I think, was the driver that impressed me at the moment. And I have to say, the consistency with the PlayStation guys, I have to say I'm very, very proud that most of the guys got into the top 10. I think there was a few that got knocked out in Q1, which was a shame, and there was one driver that knocked out in Q2, but still all to play for in the race. But the ones who got knocked out in Q1 and Q2 on the Xbox side, do not rule them out, because I was predicting some of the drivers to be in the top 10 on the Xbox side, but didn't quite get there. So we got to watch out for them, I'm almost certain of it at the moment, and we just got to keep an eye on it. There's no safety car, clear weather, but it's just all about pace to see who's going to be the quickest driver. 35 points are awarded to the winner, and there's points for every position. So as long as you finish, you will score points for your team. And then the platform with the most points, I'm sure Luke and Connor will be doing some maths in the background. They will be basically the winner of this event, in this team event. But obviously we want to find out who's the winner of this event in terms of the drivers. I can't remember if formation lap's turned on or off. I don't know. I think it's off. So I'll hand it over to you.
We will get ourselves ready. Not long to go. The race is very, very close for, well, the Portimao Grand Prix for the WR versus PSGL, we're on 3, 4, 5 red lights. The Portimao Grand Prix is go, and it looks like it's a pretty poor start from Ogiano. He's not had the best of starts. Legend is straight through it. He's had the better of the starts. He's now attacking Otis, but it's not going to be enough. Ogiano holds on to P2 for the time being, and that could very well hold positions there. Connor up 2 places as well. So is Shazoo. Tom down in P12. He's just lost the position to PSR Nick. Nick's fighting back to him. Let's see what Shazoo Kazizel, he was looking to try and make a move, and Danerko, the PlayStation guys, having a little bit of an argument. So is Smokey and Nick. They're fighting away as well. So there's no team games right at the moment, but Otis Lawrence is desperate to get away, and it could see Otis Lawrence versus Legend, well, pulling away from the rest of the grid.
Yeah, Otis Lawrence getting a good start, but Ogiano did not. But Ogiano had to count for Legend there as well. But maybe that was the case. Maybe that was their team game right. If you get a better start, I'm happy for you to go ahead and make sure to hold the Xbox guys up. We don't know their strategy, but I'm not surprised to see every driver's gone for the hard side. They're either going to be medium hard or hard medium. Everyone's gone for the same strategy, which is really great to see. We get to see everyone's pace on the hards early on as well, and I was surprised that a lot of people made up positions early on, because I thought it would be more the team game, but no, it's every man for themselves at the moment, and this could play a massive factor going to later on in the race at the moment. But Nick has been the one that's done really well so far of the Xbox guys, as he's trying to get past Rowan up into P9 already. Nick is showing his race pace as well, which is great to see. And we're seeing Smokey coming back down the inside into turn 3 as Rowan is starting to struggle with his tyres. Maybe his tyre pressures, I think, have not been the best so far, but it's great to see the Xbox guys really come into their own in terms of racecraft and race pace at the moment, as Rowan tries to get back on Smokey, and he defends quite nicely, as Matthew and Ray having a bit of a squabble for P16 on the road, as Ray gets past Matthew up to 16th. And some of these drivers won't be fighting their drivers too much. There may be some times where there will be some team orders coming into force as well, because it is a team event. But biggest gainer out of all the drivers so far, well, it's got to be Philip Valters. He's up 3 places, and then a few people gained 2 places, the likes of Nick and Connor as well. Matthew and Leopard, biggest losers so far out of the Xbox guys. Matthew down 5, Leopard down 1. Ogiano down 1 as well. Biggest losers from the PlayStation side got to be Rowan and Kazizel down 2 places, so that's not good for them. But we're about to start lap 3 as well. DRS will be activated as well, so we will keep an eye on that, as the DRS train could be starting to form pretty soon as well. But Legend is starting to close in on Otis, but he's got to try and bring Ogiano and Rudy with him to try and back him up a little bit, I would say.
I think you're right, with Connor especially getting back to Rudy and nearly pulling away from Danerko. Danerko's possibly in a little bit of trouble there, because it could cost Kazizel the time that is needed to keep up with the top guys. And if you get that break in the snake, it's looking better for the PSGL guys. But at the moment, it's a little bit of a sandwich between Otis and PSR Connor, the 2 WR guys, trying to get everything worked in together. But Danerko just about holding on at the moment. But how much longer can he do it? He's obviously a great driver, being a champion in PSGL. However, at the moment, it just seems like he's struggling.
Yeah, he does, and it's not like him as well. But there's certain tracks like this, in like low speed corners, where he struggles a little bit more. He has struggled in places like USA, where he struggled, I think, as well. But I think he's going to take a while to get to grips with it. But as long as he's still in that train, the fight is still not over, I think, for Danerko. But no one is able to get the moves yet. They're just saving a bit of ERS, as we've got Rowan, who's 3 tenths behind Nick. Again, they won't be going for moves as of yet, due to the fact they'll be losing so much time on battery as well. And in terms of predicted pit stop strategy for these drivers, well, it's either going to be, well, most people are going to pit around about lap 20 for set the medium tyres, and with no safety car, that will be the predicted strategy. Maybe lap 18 or 19 if they want to predict very early on as well, as Otis Lawrence has already almost broken the DRS, as Scaffer and Philip Valters are having a nice battle for P14 on track at the moment. Top 12, if you're 14th or 50th, you don't score points in WOR and PSGL, but in this event, you definitely could score points if you're that further down. The only time you won't score points is if you get disqualified or if you do not finish. So plenty of reason just to keep going, even if you're this far down. But it's still nice for them to see that they're having a little bit of a squabble for P14 and 15, which is great to see right now. But apart from that, not much battling happening at the moment. It's just mainly the battle that are happening in the midfield. I think we're watching Rowan close in, same with Nick and Ascombe as well. I think they're just all within that 9/10 gap, and they're just not close enough at the moment. As Otis is saying, the timing squeeze a lot. He's already broken DRS off of Legend, so not good news for Legend, but good news if you're FRA Elite. But it's not good news if some of your drivers are near the back of the grid. You've got to find a way to work together a little bit. Maybe Otis is thinking of coaching techniques. Right, what do we need to do to be the best platform? I can't just carry the team because it may not be enough because we've got PlayStation 2nd, 3rd and 4th at the moment. The corner I think is doing well to help with the Xbox side, same with Nick and Smokey as well, but what can the other Xbox drivers do? They've got to be up near the top 10 to do things. Same with some of the PlayStation guys, like with the likes of Valdez and Ray, I think.
This is not enough yet for the WOR guys. They're just not doing it enough. Maybe their thought was let Otis go off in the distance and then everyone else pick up the pieces. Generally, that's a good strategy. But, you know, PSGL has come up to this all guns blazing, full on fighting their way through. Currently, like you quite rightly mentioned, P2, 3 and 4. And they're there producing some great lap times as well. Ogiano still fighting away with his teammate, obviously. You know, not more fighting, more just trying to make sure they keep in with that battle. Danerko, agonisingly close coming out of that DRS. And if we look at it, I wonder if his DRS does actually open. It does down the pit straight, so he's only just managed in there. But there comes to a point when Kazizal behind goes, you know what, I'm actually faster. Let me through. Let me have a go at going at PSR Connor, because right now it's all going wrong. But I mean, from an ERS point of view, I mean, I'm going to go have a look at the ERS because it's quite interesting to see that they're already down to about 50%.
And if you're the likes of Ascombe, you're less than that, you're 9%. So he was definitely pushing just to stay in that DRS train. And with Ascombe, without that ERS, he would have been out of that DRS train. Look, he's out of the DRS train now. He's leading the 3rd DRS train with the likes of Nick, Rowan and Smokey. But that is what you got to think. Exactly your point that you brought up. If you're not doing well trying to fight off the guys that are not from your platform, as I saw someone going off, that's Kazizal, that's gone off, he's got no front wing on his McLaren car. This is not good news for PSGL on the PlayStation side. He will have to get that repaired for sure, and that's on a set of hard tyres as well, which again is not ideal. So I wonder what happened there for him to get that, because he was running in the top 10 as well. That can make all the difference come later on when the points get added up. So he's going in into the pits, unfortunately. We've had time penalties all over the show from the likes of Rowan and Ray as well. So Kazizal will have to probably go on into a set of the mediums. They last 18 laps, or maybe he could go on a set of the soft tyres and towards the end of the race, and maybe just hope for fastest lap potentially as well. But we can see Rowan, he's got a bit of straight line speed heading towards turn number 5, but Nick closes the door very nicely indeed. Good defence from him, but look who's leading that train, Ascombe. What will Ascombe be telling Rowan to do? What will Rowan be telling Ascombe to do? That's going to be interesting to see the team game being played in this DRS train.
Now, I did see what happened to Kazizal. He just lost out of 11 and careered into the wall. Lucky to still be driving. However, penalties galore on PSGL, and that is going to probably cause some harm to their chances towards the end of this race. Rowan obviously going to have to be in good conversation with Ascombe to try and get some, you know, to get some strategy out there, because Nick is not going anywhere anytime soon. Danerko managed to get back inside that DRS and keeping on hounding Connor. So PSGL definitely on the momentum right now.
Here comes Rowan.
Exactly right. Round the outside. I don't know if it's going to be enough space through it into turn 1. He's being crowded out a little bit there.
I have to say, Nick has placed in this car exactly where I think you should place the car when you're defending around Portugal, I have to say. So good job from him. But where is he going to place the car as we head towards turn number 5? So here they come then, around this nice little corner there. And again, Nick holds on very nicely indeed. Maybe, if I was Nick, maybe to not fight this one too much because Rowe's got a penalty. But he will probably still be fighting anyway because he's got the likes of Tom, Vaz and Ray catching up as well. But behind Rowan is the 2 Xbox guys, Smokey and Wilson. They've got no penalties at all. So they're going to be wanting a piece of the puzzle as well as we head later on into this race as well. And just a quick reminder, yes, everyone will get points as long as you finish and as long as you do not get disqualified. So the ones near the back, the likes of Kazizzle, Sab and Sam, they're still going to be wanting to keep going because they're still pretty much 1 point could make all the difference between winning this event for your platform or losing this event. So you've got to keep going no matter what, and it could make all the difference as well. On lap 9 of 33 now. Is anyone going to go for some moves into T1? Looks like Rowan is not close this time round.
No, and Wilson seems to have lost. Asicum's picked up the pace maybe a little bit in comparison to everyone else, but still losing time to the top 6. As Legend got very close, but not close enough to Otis Lawrence as they got to the DRS activation point, and it's now back to 1.2 seconds. Otis Lawrence definitely showing that he's got the pace right now, but you've quite rightly mentioned already that it's not just about one driver, it's about everyone. Kazizzle, fastest man on the track with no safety car. He's in a little bit of a trouble, but he's got to keep going. He's got to keep going, or otherwise that 1 point that if he retires and he doesn't get could cost PSGL massively. At the moment, there doesn't seem to be enough. I think the battle for P7 is where we're going to get any sort of action right now because WR Wilson somehow managing to get back into this battle. Maybe Asicum just really doesn't like the first and second sector.
Tom is as well. Pretty much anyone down to, I'll say, P14 is still in this fight as well. So if one of those drivers in that DRS train makes a mistake, that can leave the door wide open for the likes of Smokey, Wilson, Tom, Scaffer and Bowers to get back in this as well. So we can see Nick trying to break that DRS train as he tries to sneak past Asicome. And Asicome, Rowan has got past Asicome quite easily. So Asicome's like, you know what, you're quicker than me. You try and fight Nick. And that is exactly what he's trying to do. But Nick's gained 2 places out of it. So that is not ideal to what you want to do because they're all so tight. But we'll see what Rowan can do again as we head towards turn 5 then. Very soon as we go down the hill. And you can see, I'd say, good teamwork from Asicome and Rowan there as well to fight for this because the points that you gain is absolutely massive here in this event. And massive shout out to Connor, by the way, Big C, that's put the point system in the PSGL chat for those of you that are wondering how the points are scored for today as well. 35 points for first place, 1 point for 20th place, of course. Nick has gone a little bit deep there heading towards 11. Rowan could have took advantage of that, but he did not as well. And they're just losing so much time into the top 6 train at this moment. And we can see the Asicome really starting to struggle a bit more because now Smokey is on the back of this as well. And we know how Smokey can climb his way back through the field. So we'll watch out for those two, the likes of Smokey and Wilson and Tom as well. We can see Smokey deploying that ERS battery to fruition then, going up to 200 miles per hour in that Red Bull. No cost cap involved here because it is equal cars, don't forget, as Smokey stays behind Asicome as we're starting to see Nick trying to defend from Rowan, but it did not work out. But he's trying to get the switch back, but again, maybe he wants the DRS coming through this corner, so we'll see. Rowan's up to P7 for now, but can Nick try and go around the left-hand side of Rowan into turn 5? Nope, he does not. Good move from Rowan up to P7. Danako has been disconnected. That's not good for PlayStation at the moment. But for Rowan, that was a good move. Nicely timed as well. I think Asicome did the right thing, switching with Rowan for position, because Rowan gained 2 places out of that.
Yeah, Rowan very smart, as is Asicome out of that as well. But it looked like Asicome might have dropped off a little bit at that point. But because of the switch of positions, it's all helped out in the end for PSGL. WR Smokey trying desperately to get a move on that Haas. It's just not happening at the moment. Same with Wilson, Tom and Sider, and even Phil in P14. Matthew's got himself back into the swing of things as well after pulling away from Ray, but Leopard McCabe, Sam, and Sav. Sav, who hasn't been able to set a up to his car, is in a world of pain, dropping away at the back of the grid. And let's see if WR Smokey can do anything this time around. He gets close, but there's not enough of that start-finish rate for WR Smokey to get anything done. And then Asicum catches up with PSR Nick as well. But Danerko is having an absolute nightmare because of all this. And
he has joined back though. He has joined back, but it'll take a while for him to take control of his car. He has taken control of his car now. So oh, what's happened there? That was a bit of desync there. Well, so we've experienced our first desync in crossplay. Not nice.
Nope, definitely not nice, and that is something we kind of are expecting from this. But look at that, it's caused a little bit of problem. WR Smokey trying to go right up the inside through Portimao into turn 11. It's just not happening in the background. Tom's getting past Wilson as well. Oh, sorry, that's Asicum and Smokey. Just, it's all kicking off because of that disconnect.
Yeah, it is. I think Danerko has not helped anyone in this situation, and he's down into P15, but he's still in that train right now. So, to be honest, the most important thing for Danerko is to not give up. If you're in the bottom 10, to not give up, because you're still in a fighting chance to help you secure the victory for your platform. And I have to say, Smokey is doing a really brilliant job for the Xbox side as he gets past Asicom up into P8 for now. And I have to say, Asicom is really struggling. Wilson's on the back of this as well. And Asicom should have done was maybe let Tom through so Tom could have challenged them. But this is what is happening right now as Tom is trying to catch up. But Wilson tries to go for a move into turn 5 on Asicom. Asicom just about close the door there as well on Wilson. That is great to see him defending, but you can see that he's struggling for grip. He doesn't like this circuit, and there we go. He's gone a bit wide. He's gone too deep. He's also let Tom through in the process, and now Tom tries to go and fight Wilson as well. Scaffer now gets past Asicom, and the PlayStation guys are starting to struggle a bit more at the moment in these early stages, which I think is benefiting the Xbox drivers massively, and they're starting to come into their own towards the middle half of this race. And Asicom tries to get past Scaffer once again, but we can see Valters. Oh, there's a spin!
Matthew's gone.
Ray's out! Matthew and Ray made contact, and Matthew's got a penalty for it, and we've lost our first driver of Ray there. Well, I don't know if there's any stewards for this event. I don't think so, but that could have been, I think, avoided from both drivers, I'm almost certain. But Matthew has to pit as well, so he's in danger. That is a shame for Ray. We've already lost one driver already. That point can make all the difference, as you were saying earlier.
I'm just re-watching it back, and Matthew just lost it on the exit of 14. To be honest, I don't. Even if stewards were involved, it's a racing incident.
Definitely.
Ray couldn't avoid it, and Matthew was sideways. It's not like he could have done anything else about that. That is gutting for Matthew, gutting even more so for Ray. But 14 seconds, Matthew has to catch Kazizel ahead. I'm pretty certain, I could be wrong in saying, but I'm pretty certain Kazizel probably has to pit again. So that battle for the end, at the end, could be vital nonetheless.
Yeah, because Matthew's tyres could just about get to the end, I think. But for Kazizel, it's going to be, I think, a bit more of a push as well. So Kazizel, I think, has got a lot of work on his shoulders. And there's no safety car to rely on. It's just to test the pace of these drivers in crossplay. So they can't rely on the safety car to get them back in this race. They just got to focus on their own race and try and really start to get the points for their team, especially for the PSGL guys, because they've lost one driver now. The chance of getting an extra point is done and dusted. You won't get points for not finishing, so that is a shame for Ray there, but that gives extra chance for the PlayStation guys to really start pushing for these extra points, which I think is absolutely crucial. Tom, I think, really needs to do so. He's gained the most places out of anyone, I think, out of the PlayStation guys so far. So he got knocked out of Q2, so he's already doing really, really well. He always likes coming alive in these latter stages of the race. I think that's why he's a well-rounded driver as he is at the moment. But I have to say, I'm impressed with Connor so far. He's catching up to the talent factory guys in 4th, 3rd and 2nd. So this is technically the battle for P2 because Otis Lawrence, is running away with it right now. I've only been on board with him quite a few times on this stream because he is, like I was saying, you were saying earlier, and throughout the whole WOR season, he's dominating. And unless he makes a mistake, I can't imagine him losing this one. I think he could win this race as Connor gets past Rudy. I don't think Rudy challenged that. Connor is up to 4th place. The Xbox drivers are really starting to get back into this race.
The race pace from some of these Xbox guys are even surprising me, and I get to watch them week in, week out. And Connor really is surprising me right now. He's getting into the swing of things, and he's actually possibly the one that can challenge Oggiano and Legend out of all this, because Rudy just seemed to lost some sort of pace there. He's the quickest in Sector 1, which is kind of understandable considering the DRS advantage he got over Rudy there. Rudy's trying to keep on with it. Oggiano is being helped by Legend, being pulling along, but 2.2 seconds between Otis Lawrence and Legend. Otis just keeps on making me lost for words. Matthew now the fastest man on the track, but that is understandable considering he's only just come into the pits. But still, there is so much close battling going on here, Jess, that it's not over yet. No one really knows how this one's going to pan out and whether PSGL have enough points in the bag, because they've got some great points up at the top, but there's the middle part which is seeming to be a bit more Xbox.
Yeah, and that could make all the difference in the long run in terms of who can come out on top. I know the points are quite close anyway, which just makes it very, very exciting. I won't be surprised if there will be a few points in it between the two platforms. It's looking quite equal. There's an equal amount of Xbox guys at the back and PlayStation as well. But I think the ones who are in the middle group, I would say, will be the ones to really decide it for their platform, I think. Because we have, obviously, 1 PlayStation driver out. We've got 3 PlayStation drivers, 5th, 16th and 18th. We've got Ascombe and Valters still in that train as well. Ascombe may find a bit more life in his tyres, but he may start to come back when he goes onto the medium tyres. Maybe he's more comfortable on the medium tyres as well. We can start to see the Xbox guys really start to work more as a unit, I think, especially with the likes of Smokey and Wilson working together, and maybe Nick as well, holding up this train of cars that we saw Ascombe do so nicely to help Rowan as well. That can get even more exciting as Rudy is still closing in on Connor ever so slightly as well. It's going to get to a point where, Gav, these drivers are going to come into the pits very, very soon. It could be the strategy that could decide it for some of these drivers if they're not careful. But don't forget, some of these drivers also have time penalties. And speaking of strategy, Legend is the first driver to come in. Rudy's in as well. Ryan, I think, is going to stay out because obviously he will get held up by the double stack. Will any of the Xbox drivers come in? That is my question. Nope, they're all back staying out. Tom's staying out as well. Scaffer is staying out. Ascombe as well. I think it's mainly the PlayStation guys that are coming in, the guys that were near the front runners, as it looks like. Everyone else is just staying in. Valors, though, and Leopard are coming in. So there is 1 Xbox driver that's coming in at the moment. How is that going to affect the rest of this race? We'll have to wait and see. Will this help Legend or will this hinder him? I don't know if the overcut or undercut would work around this track, but yeah, it could be interesting.
I am, for the first time, going on board with Otis Lawrence. This is the time I'm going to stay on board with him. I'm going to see if he pits this lap. I think he's going to have enough to go above Legend, but that's only if he pits. I know what he's like. I think he's going to go for another lap, and I think he's going to be bold enough. He's going to be fast enough. He's going to deploy everything he can in this last lap to really make sure he stays ahead and has the tyre life. He hasn't. He's boxed. Legend may have got into his head a little bit.
Oggiano's in as well. Oggiano's in as well. Everyone's coming in now. I won't be surprised if Rowan follows suit. Yes, he is. Smokey stays out. I won't be surprised if some of the slower guys will stay out just to hold the other platform up. That is definitely what Sav is doing right now. And to be fair, Sav is doing a really good job of doing so. So fair play to him. To be honest, that's the role I would play in team race. Just hold the other platform up. Make sure that they do not get past you. As Legend then, he is going to come out. Otis is miles ahead. Otis is miles ahead. Oggiano's ahead of Legend then. So I don't know what happened to Legend in the pit stop, but the overcuts seem to have worked for Giano and Otis at the moment, and the gap is even more compared to before. So maybe for some of the guys that still haven't pitted, maybe it's the right decision at the moment. There's almost a bit of contact between the Talent Factory boys. You don't really want to be fighting this, otherwise this could cost you points in the team's race at the moment. But if you're Giano, would you let your teammate through? I don't know. Danerko, again, another penalty for the PS lot. This is not good. Danerko is always a driver that likes to pick up penalties. Same with a few of our guys on the PlayStation as well. What would Giano be thinking? I wouldn't be fighting this if I was him, but you want to be the top PlayStation guy. I don't know. I don't know what these guys will do, but we will see. Because they're losing so much time fighting because of this, and Otis has been able to pull away. Otis has got nothing to lose in this situation.
Otis is getting faster and faster, and Connor is closer to Legend than he was before the pit stop. This is all going wrong, I think, for the Talent Factory gents. They are in massive world of pain. Smokey's coming out of the pit lane now, as is PSR Nick, but PSR Connor's right in with the swing of things. Legend and Ogiano switch, but they're 3.7 seconds behind Danerko, who's nearly a second behind Otis Lawrence. This is all turned up on its head. Either McCabe, Sam and Wilson staying out that little bit longer. They want the fresher tyres at the end of the race. We'll have to keep an eye on them as they fight their way through the field. But all of a sudden, it's not looking like it's a certain thing for any team.
Could be equal.
I was siding more with the PSGL side before the pit stop strategy, but right now you can't say for certain for anything.
No, the admins of PSGL will have to do the maths, and we will obviously let you know who has won. But it's going to be tight. Yellow flag. That's Danerko that spun. Danerko has spun similar spot to what we saw Kazizel spun, but his front wing's intact. He's still able to keep going. If I was him, I would pit. Right now, Fred Sam Memes, help you guys out. Make sure that you can fight with the lower Xbox guys and hold them up, as it were. But he's staying out for just a little bit longer. Legend saying the fastest lap so far, but that was just little margin for error, and that's a corner where you can lose it.
I can't believe I just saw it in the foreground, and Alfa Romeo spinning at the same place. It seems like that at the exit of turn 11 is the PSGL curse. They just don't have any luck around there. Tom's lost it. I think Kazizel was the other one, and now Danerko as well. Some big names
Nick!
losing it.
Nick's got past Tom. He's going to get past his teammate as well. I have to say, Nick has been my shiny surprise, I think, out of the Xbox drivers so far. He is performing, I think, the drives I think that the Xbox community would love to see. And that is just incredible. Good job for him so far. But he's a little bit further back on his compatriot of Smokey at the moment. Oh, there was almost a tap between Wilson and Tom. But Tom dives it around the right-hand side into turn 11. Very tight to make a move there, but he made it stick. Well done to Tom. And he's up into 13th position then at this moment in time. What can the other PlayStation guys do behind Wilson? I think looking at the setups, I think the Xbox guys are stronger at the end of their stints compared to the start of their stints. Whereas the PlayStation guys is just opposite at this moment in time as Scaffer goes into the pits. I think Danerko and Sav are staying out, not surprised, as Rowan tries to get past Sav. I think fair play to Sav for trying to hold up the PlayStation guys for so long and doing a stellar job, to be fair, as well. And that's what you want with a teammate like Sav there as well. But Rowan just had the extra speed up into P7. I have to say, Legend, Orgiano and Rowan have impressed me on the PlayStation side. I think the others, really to step it up if the win can go to PlayStation, because at the moment Xbox have got nothing to lose. If Xbox can keep this up, I think this could go to Xbox. And Connor is not too happy at the moment with how PlayStation are performing at the moment. This could go Xbox's way, looking at it at the moment.
I'm sure Luke is looking on and desperate for something A miracle. I mean, we've already got one miracle, and that's Otis Lawrence. He's 3.2 seconds ahead of McCabe Sam, who's a further 2 seconds ahead of Legend. What has this pace come? This man is incredible, but one race win does not keep the WR victory alive. There's a lot to be said about it. McCabe Sam, is he going longer to go for a set of softs and really set the world alight in the final few laps? We will have to wait and see. PSR Connor, though, this is my shining light from a WR perspective. He's been absolutely on point through the whole race, and he's now into P5, and there is Rowan with a penalty. What is going on with the penalty side of things at PSGL, Jess? Because at the moment, PSGL hold all the penalties.
Yeah, that's not good, guys. Come on, you could do better than that. And I think as some are calling it in the PlayStation chat, I think Penn Station, which I have to say, nice pun. Not what I want to see, though, from these guys, but in a way, nice banter in a way. I think there's a lot of your guys are coming into the chat and had to stir a bit of the banter, which is fair enough. To be honest, I would do that if I was not commentating. So fair play to them, not going to lie. But yeah, that could... I think that's wearing second penalty as well. Yes, it is. The only man who's on 6 seconds. That can come back to bite the PlayStation guys come the end of this race. Sab and Sam still to pit. Same with Danerko as well. I wonder if Danerko will come into the pit as Nick does get past Danerko on the fresh and mediums. So with Wilson on Sab as well. And he can chase down Tom for 11th position at this moment in time. And as we got Danerko, who's trying to get past Nick again on old scrub set of hard tyres. Is he turning into an Alexander Albon from Australia? But he struggled a little bit through turn 3. And Tom, what's happened there to Danerko? He's lost a bit of grip there as he has gone for a bit of a spin. And I wonder if he's got a puncher. I won't be surprised if he's got a puncher somewhere. It looks like he's got a puncher rear left. I don't know. It's hard to tell. But he's going very, very slowly. So will that mean Sam come in? I'm not entirely sure. Scaffer does get past Sab for P13. That's heartbreaking for Danerko there. He's going to try and go for fastest lap, I think.
What is going on for the battle for P2? McCabe Sam is somehow holding on, but PSR Connor is going around the outside of the Ferrari driver, but it's not going to be enough for the time being. Rudy is being held up. McCabe Sam has done a wonderful job on the wonderful the WR side of things. He's definitely going into the pit side this time. Defensive goes Legend, but it's not enough to save him from Connor, and Connor is into P2. WR 1-2. What a move.
Connor, bravo! I have to say, that was sensational. I think Xbox are starting to realise what they need to do to actually win this event. It's starting to work together as a team. And I think Sam did a stellar job of holding the PlayStation guys up to get Connor to go for a move like that and up to P2. And we've got our first penalty from the Xbox side, and that glory goes to Sab, unfortunately. So Sab gets the unfortunate thing of getting a first penalty for the Xbox side. But that's the only penalty so far from the Xbox side as well. At the beginning of this event, I thought PlayStation would have this, but it's looking like it's going to go Xbox's way. There's a lot more Xbox near the middle of the pack, but again, we just don't know. Legends had a spin, but I think I'm just trying to look at Smokey. As Legend is ghost. Luckily the ghosting system's on, because otherwise that would have been huge contact. But that's Legend losing a position as well. I think at the moment this is going to go Xbox's way. I think, unfortunately, I think it goes Xbox's way. Another yellow flag. That is Asacom. The PlayStation guys are struggling at the moment.
Well, this, the pendulum swings. Lap 26 of 33. There's still plenty of time for it to swing the PSGL way. That is for certain. There's still battles going up throughout all the field. Battle for P8 right now is absolutely huge. PSR Nick getting out of the way of Scyther and Philip for... I think Nick is having a little bit of trouble right now just to keeping those... Maybe it's keeping the tyres cool is the problem that he's having. But Scyther up into P10. Not the best race for Scyther. However, all things considered, he's now in with a real good shot of battling away with Tom and Wilson, maybe to hold Tom up and give more points to the WR side of things. There's a Mercedes, sorry, no, not Mercedes. There's a Alfa Romeo going slow. I think that could very well be Dinerco.
Yeah, that is Dinerco.
Is not ideal
yeah,
at all.
I think he's being lapped. I think he's lapped. Yeah, he's lapped. He's got to finish. He's got to finish this race to score points, I have to say. But 8.1 seconds between Otis Lawrence at the moment and Connor. But we've got Oggiano and Rudy, I think, showing the class of the field, not making much mistakes so far. We're heading towards the end of this race. And, yeah, this is looking like an Xbox One 2, but we could have a PlayStation 3-4 at the moment. We've got Rowan as well, not that far behind, but he's got that 6-second penalty, so Smokey could be up there as well. Because it all comes into the pit. He's going to go on a set of the soft tyres till the end of this race, but he's not going to be last due to the fact that Dinerco was struggling at the moment as well. But I think this is showing that Portimao is a tough track if you're on PlayStation, I have to say, or it might be down to the setup as well. Maybe Xbox guys have just maybe spent more time and work on the setup more than the PlayStation guys potentially to make it work for the race rather than qualifying, and maybe PlayStation guys were more suited to the qualifying as well, and maybe some of them might have had a time trial setup and maybe it did not work out for them, but we will see come to the end of this race. But anything can happen in this event, and it usually does, as I think it's quieting down in terms of the battlefront at the moment. But Oggiano is going to hope that he can close down Connor for the battle for P2 once again, because otherwise that could make all difference. By the way, Tom's up to 9th and Rowd's up to 11th, so despite their mistakes, they're still doing a decent job.
Yeah, and it looks like Dinerco may be supplying some tricks of the trade, giving Rowan some extra pace with it, continually enabling the DRS. It's a nice little strategy for him. Sav is finally popping into the pit lane as well. Cyther up into P10. Let's have a look at the positional changes, because I'm guessing they are quite severe. You know, Philip and Tom both up some incredible amount of places. But
David Wilson,
you know, even though they've gone up, some of them have gone. Some of the PlayStation guys have gone down. It's not an ideal weekend, but Dinerco and Kazizel down. Both drivers down 13 places. That's not what we want. No,
I think that will be something to work on in the season as well, is to improve on their consistency, because I do believe Portugal is on the PSGL calendar for season 32, so they're going to hope they're not going to have a race like this when we come to that in the second half of season 32, I have to say as well. So, yeah, lessons learned, but at least it's not for the Drivers' Championship in any of the seasons for the likes of Dinerco and Kazizel. They've got something to fight for as well. Help their teammates get some DRS as well, potentially, and for Kazizel's sake, maybe try and hold the Xbox guys up as well. Same with Asakoma as well. That's what they got to think about as well, potentially, towards the end of the race. We don't have long to go until the end of the race, not going to lie, and anything can happen as well. Legend's on the back of Smokey, but he's got that 3-second time penalty, but I believe he will stay 7th position due to the fact that Wilson is 4.8 seconds back, so Legend's doing a good job on that front as well. But Tom's right on the back of this too. Maybe he saves some pace towards the end, we do not know. And let us know in the chat, who do you think has got this? Is it PlayStation or is it Xbox? Too hard to tell at the moment, because we're starting to see more the Xbox drivers coming up as well. Leopard have got past Nick there. Leopard, I think, is coming into his own towards the end. I think Leopard is doing a lot better on the medium tyres, it looks like, and this could be crucial.
Yeah, Leopard doing a phenomenal job down in P12, up a few places, trying to do what he does best, and that is just consistency. Connor, though, maybe under a little bit of pressure from Oggiano. Oggiano, the surprise pick from the PSGL lot, looking like he's going to make a move into turn 1. Is it going to happen? I don't think there's enough straight. There isn't. Oggiano runs out of ERS, and that's something else these drivers have got to worry about, is their ERS usage. But he is going to try and throw it inside of turn 3. It's side by side between the Haas and the Red Bull. At the moment, the Red Bull's got the better of it. Who's got the DRS as they exit turn 4? I think that was a bit of a rookie mistake from Ogiano, as he's now not got the DRS, and that helped Connor defend the position. That 30 of 33, and Connor still holding that at the moment. But look at Otis Lawrence, nearly 10 seconds away from the rest of the field.
Watch out, PC people that are watching the stream. When he's going to come on PC, he's going to, I think, set the timings alight, I think. He's going to probably do what Thomas Ronhard did when he moved to PC, the likes of Jake Benham as well. I mean, he is a man on a mission, I think. So watch out for him when he goes on the PC side, because he's going to be on another level. I've been so impressed with his performance, not going to lie. I know I'm on PlayStation, but I can't hide my absolute delight with seeing how Otis is dominating right now. He is going to be, I think, a star in the making in terms of F1 esports, and the way he's dominating the WOR Xbox Tier 1 season, it's not a surprise to see him up there at the top, and he's dominating a crossplay event as well. So if it does come crossplay in the future, and if he does stay on Xbox, I think he could be, definitely one to watch, not gonna lie as well. But this battle for the podium spots could make all the difference, I have to say. A few more laps to go of this crossplay event. Make sure you like and subscribe to the PSGL and WOR channels if you are new to any of them as well. And also follow the leagues on Twitter as well, because we still got seasons live, including one about to start and one just in the middle, as well with WOR as well, and championship still to be decided, and of course all the Xbox tiers as well is going to be I think very exciting. Make sure you watch both of our leagues, because I've watched a few of the WOR Xbox leagues, and it's been absolutely fascinating to watch, not gonna lie as well. Same with the PlayStation side as well. I've been covering that as Matthew does get past Sav for P17, but it can go either way. We'll do the maths at the end to see who's going to come out on top as well. But Ogiano has got to get past Connor, otherwise it looks like it's going to be an Xbox victory.
Yeah, onto the penultimate lap of this Portimao Grand Prix. Otis Lawrence has broken that 10 seconds. Connor looking like he's being more and more comfortable with the battle from Ogiano behind. Looking at the ERS usage, however, they're far closer than they were before. Connor has 2 laps to make this stick. Ogiano, very, very quick. I have been incredibly impressed by Ogiano in this race. I wasn't expecting him to be this high up, and he's done a phenomenal job. Smokey trying to break into
Tom spun!
Oh, no.
I think that's gifted the win to Xbox. With that spin from Tom, I think this has gifted the win to Xbox, but again we will have to wait and see, as Tom is struggling to get the car in a straight line at the moment. But yeah, that might have gifted the win for Xbox, unfortunately, but it's still not over. Ogiano is still hunting Connor down as they head towards turn 11, as Matthew sets the fastest lap of the race.
So Matthew is going to try and break into the Kazizel time in front. Obviously, Kazizel with a 3-second time penalty. Tom struggling probably with tyre temperatures as well now, which could maybe not cause too much of a trouble for McCabe Sam, but he is catching back up, so that's an interesting one behind. McCabe Sam having a massive issue by the looks of things.
Yeah.
As defensive goes Connor down the start, finish straight for the last time. Connor's holding firm. Ogiano can't do anything about it. And in this time, I think it's going to be a WR 1-2. Otis Lawrence is so far ahead. Ogiano has to do something at turn 5. Turn 5 is the next place for the Haas driver. Can he do anything? He's too far back. Connor is harvesting, but the Haas driver has given all he can, and it's just not going to be on this occasion. And I mean, it's been a fantastic race so far, but there's still places to be caught up behind. Asicum trying to get past Nick in the background, but I'm going to stay on board with this one, just in case Ogiano does something special. He's done something special so far, but it's just not been enough. And you know, starting from second place, I'm sure he won't mind dropping to third place if he wasn't expected to be that high up. But Connor has played an integral part for this WR race, and I'm sure we'll run down everything afterwards, Jess. But right now, I suppose we have to go on board with this man. He's dominated Xbox. I'm pretty certain he's going to dominate PC when he goes there, but he's dominated this event. Otis Lawrence is your PSGL WR race victor. We'll find out the rest of it all later on, but what a race from him, Jess.
Yeah, as Connor makes it a WR 1-2, another great performance from Connor as well. Very impressed with him so far. Gained 5 places in this race. And Orgiano, the top PlayStation driver, with Rudy in P4. So those two doing very well. Smokey again up 5 places as well, up to 5th. We've got Rowan 6th, Legend 7th, Wilson in 8th, Scaffer 9th, Bowser's in 10th. And then we got the likes of Leopard and Nick going to be fighting across the line in 12th. Ascombe 13th. Sam dropped down to 50th with Tom in 13th. So the spin may not have cost him that much. But again, we'll have to wait and see as Kazizzle is limping home. But again, those points could make all the difference for Kazizzle as he's going to go up to the line. We've got Matthew and Sav as well. Danerko across the line on that down. And I'm very impressed with the Talent Factory boys of Orgiano. Really stellar performance. Impressed with Connor and Smokey as well. But Otis is starting to make, and I have to say, if you're on any side, if you're on PlayStation or Xbox, I think you could be impressed with how he has performed. He saved the best to Q3. We thought he definitely sandbagged Q1, but it's because he wanted to prove that he was the best out of all platforms, and he did it.
Yeah, Otis was brilliant. I do apologise on the WR side of things. I did get a little bit excited with the fist pumping on my side and actually changed the screens. So, not that I'm happy that WR possibly have won this one, but yeah, I do apologise. I was a little bit excited, but that was a cracking race that we had because it ebbed and flowed. There was parts when you just thought, oh my God, PSGL have actually walked this. But then Otis did what he needed to do.
Yeah, and I think Xbox have learned from my techniques, I have to say, is to work more well as a team and make less mistakes. And that's what they did. And they've had more setups tailored towards the race, which I think really benefited for them. So here are your results. We've got Otis, Connor, Orgiano, Rudy, Smokey, Rowan, Legend, Wilson, Scaffer and Valters. Then we got Leopard, Nick, Tom, Ascombe, Sam, Kazizzle, Matthew, Sam and Danerko, your finishers. Fair play to Danerko for keeping going, by the way. And we have one retirement of Ray in P20. So now, Luke and Connor will have to do the maths and find out who has won this one. It could be a close one. If PlayStation had gone and won this, I'll be very shocked because I don't think a lot of the PlayStation drivers did not perform their best today, and I was very disappointed with them. But if they won this event, I'll be very shocked. But again, we'll have to wait and see. It will have to be up to the league owners to do the maths. But yeah, it's not looking good for PlayStation. With Gareth's face absolutely beaming, it looks like.
I don't know what you're on about. I'm not smug at all. But I mean, what a race! To be honest, I really enjoyed this one. Yeah, there was a few technical issues with the game, but I think not that we should be used to it from Codemasters, but we're expecting it because it's crossplay. There's always going to be something like that. But you know what? Fair play for everyone on the PSGL side of things, because there was some great racing from some of those drivers, and there's, you know, for me, PSR Connor was absolutely incredible. I've not seen him drive like that for a long time, and to see him finishing P2 is absolutely amazing. And I think possibly the same for you guys with
Orgiano. I have to say, looking at the drivers' standings where we just finished, Orgiano was 13th in the standings, and to come on to finish in a really good 3rd place, I will have to say, impressive performance from him. Something that I was not expecting as well, because he only had one podium last season, and that was in Austria. That was the only podium he's got. The rest of them were like DNFs, did not start. He only got 2 more points finishes after that. So I wasn't expecting him to do well. And even Connor highlighted in our little chat that we have that Orgiano performed really well, and it's something that he should be definitely proud of, Orgiano. And I have to say, with Connor on the Xbox side, I have to say I'm impressed with him as well, because I wasn't expecting him to be up there as well. But yeah, it's looking like that Orgiano could be a threat maybe next season, but he's got to improve on his consistency. That's what's let him down overall in the season. But someone's done the maths in chat, but we will wait to find out the official maths from the league owners, I think. But it looks like it's going Xbox's way. But we'll wait until we get official confirmation.
Right, but before we go fully into it and get official confirmation from that, I would like go for just driver of the race, because, and don't say Otis, because I'm going to side away from Otis as well, because he controlled from start to finish. But there was some good drives throughout the grid, and I'm really pleasantly surprised throughout.
It's tough, but I'm gonna have to give it to Connor with the double overtake he made earlier on as well. He helped his team quite a lot to get the Xbox drivers up there and gaining a lot of positions, and he had to take a lot of risk, and he did it. So I'm gonna, sorry to the PlayStation guys, but I'm gonna have to give my drive of the day to Connor.
I feel like I should say Oggiano right now, but
you don't have to if you don't want to.
Very much a fan favourite all of a sudden. You know, I'm going to keep an eye out on the PSGL side of things and see how he does through the next season, because that was such a drive. But I was incredibly impressed with Connor. What a drive from him. And if he drives like that, he can get some podiums in Tier 1 WR easy. That was a great drive. I think everyone on the WR side of chat saying that Connor for drive of the day. I'm not sure on your side whether...
haven't had any
PSGL
comments about drive of the day, but right, we have got official confirmation. And it was the ones that someone else put were correct. So PSGL got 114 points, but it is WOR that win the event with 141 points. They've absolutely smashed it. So congratulations. The winning platform for this event is Xbox, so they can go home with their heads held high. And yeah, I think they were more consistent in the race, and that's what did it. So congratulations to WOR for winning this event.
Yeah, what a race from those guys out there. Obviously, I'm smug for WOR, but as an event as a whole, I am thrilled that I would say it's 98% worked. It's worked well, which is exactly what we wanted. Obviously, they'll go back, the heads of it all, to decide everything. But, super proud of the WR guys. But, PSGL should hold their heads high, because there's not every day you go up against someone who is as talented as Otis and still be competitive. 10 seconds really is nothing in the grand scheme of things. I know it sounds like I'm saying nothing. It's 10 seconds is an awful lot of time, but when it comes down to qualifying, they were very, very close, and it's those fine margins which cost PSGL, I think, in the end. Yeah,
I think PSGL made more mistakes in terms of penalties and track itself as well. They seem to losing it in the same place as well, which what cost him as well. Are we having interviews? We forgot to arrange that, I think, before the start of the stream, because I know Otis may want to have a chat to us, I think, but we'll see. Do we have time for interviews?
We've got time for interviews. If they want to, anyone who wants to join from into the waiting room for, the two WR guys know where the waiting room is, so they're more than happy to. Oh, hello.
Hello, Mike.
But yeah, those two are more than welcome to come and join. But if Oggiano, can join that waiting room as well, I would love to be able to speak to a new driver and see what all happens.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. And it's saying that they may not decide to go into the interview room, even though Otis is like interview. But we will see anyway. So we will just wait a minute as well. But there he is. I was about to talk about the season's coming up, but he is in the interview room. So we will get our interview screens up, and we will drag. He's gone. As soon as I said that, he's gone. Otis.
Oh goodness. He was so quick. That was why. He was just so quick.
Oh, right, there he is. I'll drag. Oh. I was about to drag him in. Oh God.
What is going on here? Okay, right. Let's give him another chance. I'm just not gonna I'm just going to step well clear of the computer. Usually, technology has a little bit of a hissy fit whenever I'm near it. So I'm going to just sit back
I could drag him as soon as I see him.
So, but obviously, Otis Lawrence, I'll just waffle on about that man for a little bit longer because for a future star of F1 esports, I think he's definitely in it. He's still pretty young, to be fair. He's still got a lot of learning to do, but I think, before he knows it, he'll be flying high, battling with the likes of Freddie Rasmussen, Thomas Ronha, Jake Benham, some incredible names. I'm missing loads, like Brendan Lee and some, Yano, some great
some Yano.
I had to throw his name in somewhere.
Yano. As yeah, I can't drag Otis to the commentary box because obviously I usually don't have permissions. There we go.
Ah, there we go. So I'll do it. And Otis is here, and I will ask. Sorry, Jess. I'll ask the first question because it is a WR driver, but I'll pass all further questions on to you. But Otis, you
hello.
This time last week, you I asked you whether you had words to say to PSGL, and it was something along the lines of "watch this space" or something. I can't really remember, but
Be prepared.
you said you were coming for them, and you definitely came for them tonight. That was a solid drive from you, my friend.
Yeah, very happy with that result, and we won their event, so I'm very happy. Thanks for engineering VSR, Akos, and Choco, absolute goats. Especially Connor drove insane that race. So yeah, I was very happy with that result, and we bring out a dub. Sorry, so I'm very happy.
Yeah, Connor was my driver of the day as well as you, because you were absolutely dominating. It was the first time I actually got to commentate you, and to be honest, you drove quite well as well. And how long have you been practicing for this event, for the Portimao tracks? It's only been on the game for a few months now, so did you practice more than obviously the league racing, or was it something you had to put aside for a little bit?
We're the same, really. I only started practicing yesterday. I had a lot of internet issues, and I had to cut my personal hotspot and everything. So very lucky that I got the internet working last minute, because I wouldn't have been racing. So yeah, thank God.
yeah, exactly. And were you speaking to your other Xbox drivers in the chat on how would they gain positions near the back as well? Because obviously you were driving up front. Were you helping your team throughout the race as well, or were you just concentrating on just keeping the car on the road?
I was just giving them advice. A few of them spun and crashed. I just saying just keep a cool head, because I was winning this at the moment. Well, when I said it, was winning the thing. So yeah, just keep cool, and I was also focusing a lot on my driving, just make sure no mistakes, and do a bit of ERS, because I know this track's very hard to save ERS. So yeah, just give some advice. And
I can't think of any more questions because he was dominating the event, really. So I'll leave it to you, Gareth, for any more questions.
Lastly, Otis, what's next? What's next for you? What record can you break next? Because this is incredible stuff.
I don't know, to be honest with you. I'm just gonna keep driving as fast as I can and try and win as much as I can.
Yes, love to see that.
Congratulations, Otis.
Yeah, I have to say, even though I'm on the PlayStation side, I have to say I was really impressed with your performance today. And if you ever move to PC, I would be cheering you on all the way. I hope you do well, and best of luck for the rest of the WR season as well, because yeah, you seem to be doing very well in that one as well. So well done today. I'm very proud with what you've done.
He doesn't need luck.
I know, because he's doing well anyway. But yeah, well done. You impressed me today.
Thank you.
Jess, I think it's probably about time for us to round out the show. I mean, from a PSGL side of point of view, how was it? Obviously, we've spoken in depth already, but yeah, it seemed like a relatively good event.
Yeah, it's very enjoyable. A few technical issues in terms of desync as well, but at least we were figuring out the issues during this event where there's pretty much no implications in terms of drivers and constructors as well. It gives us an idea on whether we want to do it in the future or maybe we need to hold it for a little bit. But I'm going to have some words to say to the PlayStation guys at the end of this event, because they were good at qualifying but not as good in the race. So yeah, they need to keep their heads together ready for the season, because they can't afford to make mistakes like that. But yeah, overall a good event. It's nice to commentate on some Xbox drivers again, because the last time I did it was when PSGL did an Xbox League, and I was the league commentator for that. So yeah, it was very nice, and very impressed with the Xbox drivers, and they did come back and they never gave up. So yeah, it was nice to join you for the first time as well. It was a long time coming, because we wanted to do it for so long, didn't we, to commentate together, but Crossplay brought us together. So thank you, Co-Masters, for that.
It's about time they brought something good together, isn't it? But no, Jess, thank you so much for sitting alongside me on this one. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. For those of you who don't know, PSGL is just starting up their new season. If you are on that side of things, if you are on the dark side of PlayStation or whatever, do join them.
Or PC.
They'll be the light side. As PC as well.
Yes.
Can't forget PC. So that season just restarting, I believe, in the coming weeks.
Beginning of November it's starting, and I need to remember the closing date. I should know, because the closing date is around about the 18th, 19th of October. So you don't have very long to sign up if you haven't already. So please do, if you're on PlayStation or PS. No crossplay, sadly, but if you're on PlayStation or on PC, if you want to get involved, you don't have very long. And who knows, I could be commentating on you next season. And what about your season as a whole? Why should people watch WOR for the rest of the season? Give your plug.
Well, I mean, you get to see Otis Lawrence destroy the opponents. No, yeah, I mean, there's great driving throughout the grid. The battle for P2 is generally pretty good. But not only is the Tier 1 driving absolutely incredible, we've got all the other tiers throughout the week as well, which are continuing this week. So even though there's no Tier 1 driving, the Tier 2 guys are going through the remainder of the week. And then don't forget, there's a little something on a Friday called WOR Legacy Division, which I'm also a part of as well, and that is a great watch as well.
What time?
See Otis Lawrence do some crazy driving there as well.
What time can you find that Legacy division on a Friday then? Is that 8 o'clock?
So Friday is the 7 o'clock. It's the same start time as tonight was, and full qualifying and some incredible racing from about 8 o'clock onwards after the qualifying is done and dusted.
And we can give a plug for PlayStation. PSF1 starts, I think, beginning of November at 8 PM UK time on Mondays. So same time as WOR, but oh well. Anyway.
You know which side the bread's buttered though, guys, from the WR side of things. But anyway, from myself, from Jess, from PSGL, and from WR, all the backroom staff, we thank you for watching. It's been an incredible night, and until the next one, I think it's goodbye.
This broadcast was brought to you by GT Omega and Grid Rival, proudly supporting PSGL.